this was a build around submission for Ezreal, Zoe, which are two very sweet champs. I think Zoe's definitely my favorite champ in the game right now. And honestly, I think in terms of power level and playability, she's in the discussion along with cards like Twisted Fate and Draven for potentially the best champion in the game currently. So 1/1 elusive, nice evasive unit. When she hits the opponent's nexus, she creates these super cool star charts that invoke card advantage for us, and then she levels when she's seen you play 10 differently named cards. While this level up condition sounds like a lot when you first read it, when you pair Zoe with some cards that can protect her, such as Sunblessed Vigor and Pale Cascade, along with considering the fact that the super cool star charts that she's generating often count 2, 3, or 4 even towards leveling her up, she actually levels up pretty consistently in the games that I've experienced so far. The core of this deck is basically a PNZ Targan elusive aggro deck. So we've got Shadestalker, Sparklefly, Ezreal as another elusive threat, and then Mentor of the Stones at the top end. And then the thing that this build gets out of PNZ is that we get cards like Sump Dredger and Rummage to allow us to kind of filter through cards in our deck to find what we're looking for a little bit more consistently, as well as things like Mystic Shot and Get Excited, which can be a touch of interaction against other decks that we're looking to race, while also allowing us to pivot into having reach to burn people out in the late game. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games here with this one and see how it goes. Howdy, Tutu. Queen Misfortune. It's also possible that instead of Get Excited, we should be playing Aftershock. Full mulligan looking for Zoe. So Jerry Rig, in addition to being good with our discard cards here, also works as a Nightfall Enabler for Shadestalker on 2 on the draw like this when you bank a spell mana, which is nice. When you're attacking on evens, lets you have a start like this, which is lovely. And then we can sump into this other Jerry Rig. A lot of these builds stopped playing Double Trouble, so if they don't have that here, we should be in a pretty good spot. I guess Valor could be annoying. And then I think we just open attacks here. Yeah. With the plan being we push enough damage early like this. And this is the big downside to Plaza, right? Like, I just spent my first couple of turns developing here, and now they're at 9, and they literally haven't played a card that plays with the board yet. And then we'll be hoping to sneak across the finish line here with our elusive threats.
The smells, on the other hand.
Yeah, I think we're just ignoring their cards in play here, and we're just planning to deploy elusives and attack them.
Still heart, steady aim.
And honestly, I'm just gonna pass here again, because if they don't want to attack, that's a huge win for me.
Scouting ahead.
Yeah, I think they're pretty locked into attacking here.
The world's a big place. Let's see all of it.
Unseen, unheard.
Rally would be bad for me. I don't think I can afford to play around that. We played this out, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We technically have them dead if they don't have sharp sight or single combat. Sharp Sight. Sharp Sight's a card they often play, though.
You're easy to track. That's far enough. We're not done yet.
Wow, they had the rally and just didn't want to play it last turn. That's interesting. Maybe they drew it? That seems greedy. I guess they had the Sharp Sight, so they weren't worried about the Ezreal. I think that's probably the game. They're gonna level both their champions here. Needed to dodge a Sharp Sight. We unfortunately were unable to. Really? Sir back on V, thanks for the follow. We could draw second, get excited. I think if they attack with their scouts though, we're actually dead this turn. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. I do have one more get excited to draw to though. You're correct. Are we? Maybe we're fine. So it's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I believe we're going to 2.
No one escapes my aim.
Did I count that right?
It's ours to shine, Valor.
Not the droid we needed.
Valor.
Moto is getting a subscription month. Like they're gonna offer a paid subscription to give you access to all the cards on it? Why not get excited the misfortune before she leveled? Because I wasn't winning that game against the Quinn. My out was to draw a second get excited to be able to kill them. Chuckalazoo, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I feel like I'd be very skeptical of that. Yeah, can someone source the Moto thing? Because I feel like that's gonna pull people out of Arena, and Arena's like their huge cash cow. Easy, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. I think we're full mulliganing here, looking for our cheap elusives. Thanks, Genji. Hey, I've been doing Runeterra stuff for close to 7 months now. I've been doing Runeterra full time since the beginning of October. A lot of stuff up there for me. Yeah, I'd be surprised if that was a thing just because, like, it will likely lose the money. Moto, for people that aren't familiar, is Wizards of the Coast, almost 20-year-old digital magic client. Well, that's rude. I liked my Zoe. Not actually a subscription. All right, there you go. Look at that. Ask for reality. Snap back to reality. How do I feel about Hearthstone? I think Hearthstone's core gameplay tends to be fine. I think its subscription model is even more predatory and bullshit than Magic Arena, which is impressive because Magic Arena is pretty predatory and bullshit.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
It's not the same at all, Karius. What they're talking about there is paying for a sample of something. That's very, very different than a subscription. Yeah, that is something that businesses frequently do because you give every good drug dealer knows the first bump needs to be cheap or free.
Back, heretic.
I don't get how they're so generous with Overwatch but so predatory with Hearthstone. Well, not only are they different teams, but Hearthstone's also technically free to play, right? And Overwatch has a ticket to get in the door. Dodge Neem, thanks for the follow. Oh gosh.
I bear a message from. Oh, hey, what's that?
Yeah, that's a 3/3 Zoe. That's true. Different game styles as well. Overwatch was very far from the first to market first person shooter, right? Magic had been on the market longer, but Magic's digital offerings weren't polished. Hearthstone was the first to market real true digital card game. So you're right that like in the push your glasses up actually type mannerism, Hearthstone technically wasn't first, but in the way that it counts, Hearthstone was first. Oh, I feel like I can't beat this 3/3, right? Where are my pale cascades out? Yeah, I mean, like, that's, like, my only line, right? Is, like, I can gem this and attack. Or just, like, pump the brakes otherwise. Yeah, that's true, too. Like, compared to Paper Magic the Gathering, like, card game... A lot of traditional card game players basically have Stockholm Syndrome and are used to companies treating them poorly because of how Wizards treats Magic players.
Witness perfection, meatbag.
So like, in comparison to like how expensive and obnoxious Paper Magic is, Hearthstone looked very generous.
Can you improve perfection? Ship time!
I think we're rummaging here. I think we're ditching the Sparklefly. Oh, I missed an augment point of the bot. You're right. It probably doesn't matter. The bot's basically never attacking.
Sunlight guide you, my
I agree, Carl. Runeterra is pretty close to an ideal in terms of consumer friendly. The only way you can get more friendly than what Runeterra does is with a living card game style model where you pay one set price and get everything for some very cheap price. Runeterra's model is about as and there's a reason why none of those types of card games exist and are successful, right? Like that business model doesn't seem profitable or sustainable. Like Epic card game. Yeah, Epic card game does that, and there's a reason why they're a small indie product, right? And haven't taken off. No, that was not Artifact. Artifact was the worst of the worst. Artifact, you had to pay an entry fee to get into it, and then you had to get fleeced on a secondary market for buying cards. It was actually just the worst possible of every world. And dear Valve, if you're out there listening to me, I'm still salty that I spent money on your game and you didn't give us the tournament you promised us. At some point, if I care enough, we're gonna file a class action lawsuit. If anybody out there is an internet lawyer and wants to put together a class action lawsuit against Valve, I'm in. I highly doubt I'm the only one that bought cards under false pretenses from them. We're all internet lawyers, ain't that the God's honest truth? How bad was Artifact? Bad.
Safety disengaged.
I bought a full playset, assuming that I would want lots of cards to get ready to play in their tournament that they promised us, and I think it was like $200 for a full playset of their first set. So like, it wasn't a huge spew compared to like, you know. Cherry Owl, thanks for the follow. Artifact really taught me whose opinions I trust in terms of game design. Like there were a lot of content creators that were like super into Artifact, and then like it actually happened, and it was like, what you find fun and what most people find fun is very different. That is a great way to phrase it. What Carl said there. Artifact messed up in terms of complexity. They thought the number of the decisions you were making per game was more important than the quality of decisions that you made. The best way I could describe Artifact's gameplay for people that never played it is imagine taking 60 junior high math tests at the same time. So none of what you're doing is overly complicated. You're just supposed to be doing all of it at once. So it gets messy based on the volume. It had a lot of choices, but none of them were particularly compelling or interesting to make, in my opinion. Do I want to throw this away to get 2 extra points of damage in? I don't think so. That was Hex TCG. It was the old game we used to play here. Una, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. So, I actually think Artifact was one of the lowest variance card games I've ever played, but the places it elected to put its variance felt really, really bad. I think, so, and this is not to name any names, but I think a lot of the people that were hyped on Artifact were just sick of whatever game they were currently playing, and they were hoping that Artifact was going to be the next big thing that they could hook their content wagon to, and they expected it to just be huge because Valve was huge, and they just wanted out of whatever they were currently playing. And like, as someone who recently bailed out of Magic, I can understand that feeling. My spirit shines. I don't think you're required to disclose when a company's giving you money, Carl. So like Valve assuredly wasn't paying content creators to make fake hype, but I think a lot of content creators assumed that it was going to be big, and they felt like if they hyped it up from the start, they could be, you know, the Kibler or the Crip or whatever the big Hearthstone streamer is of Artifact. What's my opinion on Keyforge? Keyforge, as someone who demoed Keyforge at Gen Con the year it was released, Keyforge is what happens when you give a mathematician, the ability to ask themselves the question, can we do this thing, as opposed to making them ask the question, should we do this thing? So Keyforge is like really, it's novel, but it's like complex and weird, mostly for the sake of being complex and weird. And like in terms of like how the decks are procedurally generated and there's no deck building and every deck is technically unique. Why don't more Hearthstone streamers play Runeterra? Because big streamers make their full-time living streaming, make their full-time living streaming games. Most Hearthstone streamers are much larger than I was when I was streaming Magic. And to give you a personal anecdote, I make probably $3,000 to $4,000 less per month streaming Runeterra than I did streaming Magic. And I'm in a very fortunate position that like I'm privileged enough that I can say, yeah, I like Runeterra more, and I can afford to take that hit to my income to play a game that I enjoy more. But like most people aren't in that position, or they don't want to do that. I think this game's pretty wrapped up at this point. They've assembled their late game and we're not making it up. Yeah, and then like in the long term, there's some speculation on my part on that, right? Like I almost assuredly Runeterra is gonna grow as it adds more people and adds more people and adds more stuff like that. And I expect this game to scale up. Yeah, that's true too. Although some like Crip lives in Canada, for example, I'm pretty sure, so like he has nationalized healthcare to take care of him. All right, scouts again. I think we're just mulliganing for Zoe to start. If we get beat up by Plaza here again, I'm gonna load some Aftershocks up into our deck. There's a chance that that's a card we should be playing to begin with. I like Mythgard's gameplay too. From a client polish standpoint, it just isn't as polished as a big project like Runeterra is, and booster packs just suck. I don't like. Realistically, if I never have to play a booster pack power card game again, that would be great. The Runeterra system is just so much better.
Gems are superb. Bad for the teeth, though.
No prey, no pay.
Whee! Huh. But if Runeterra is too good for its own good, I mean, that sounds like some nonsense. Feels like this is I'm gonna pass here because it feels like they're gonna Valor us, and if they Valor, I want to get excited at. Hopefully they don't have two Valors. What does that even mean? It's a nonsense Reddit take. Too good for its own good. And we've talked this point to death on stream in the past before, but like, you know, a lot of people have really unrealistic expectations of how quickly a card game should become popular, how quickly games in general take off. Like, you don't just snap your fingers and suddenly have this huge player base overnight. It's just not how it works. Man, that's bold. So you get to play Ezreal and murder them now? So this turns into a Mystic Shot?
Let's see all of it.
Opponent spent a lot of time playing plazas and then nothing happened. Yeah, that's how all games work, Kenji. When a game initially releases is the peak of its initial rust and searching, but it doesn't mean people aren't slowly trickling into it. A bunch of people try something when it's new and they bounce off of it. And a chunk of them will bounce off of it.
I knew we had it all along.
Like one of the other things that's worth commenting on about Runeterra, I don't know if I want Aftershock yet. Do I want Aftershock? Like Riot, one of the things that's important. Let's split these Mystic Shots actually. Let's get a couple Aftershocks at the top end. Riot has the upside of having a lot of money, which means they can intentionally play for the long game, right? Like Riot isn't a small indie company, right? They don't need Runeterra to be profitable and huge today. They're building the best product that they can build in the hopes that it will be amazing down the line, right? And like it's great now, but they're definitely improving and iterating on it still, right? Hey, Dono, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff. You can ship that to every single month. Thanks for sending it my way this month. Whale poop. I think we keep Mystic Shot for their first Zoe. Keep the goat because it lines up okay into their stuff. Not having a not having Hush in this deck probably makes this matchup bad. Like, I remembering a couple of the developers for Runeterra have done, like, podcast interviews and stuff, and some of them talked about how, like, they, like, work on Runeterra started, like, years ago, like, 5 to 10 years ago initially in their development stuff.
And stop staring.
Huh? Be like 0% to be able to murder this? Less than 0%? I'm just gonna sump here.
Go, floaty crystals.
Yeah, and like honestly, it like, and that's because the parent company, like Runeterra, doesn't need to be bigger than Hearthstone to be successful, right? Like there's plenty of measurements of success other than being the absolute largest. The LCS was a loss for Riot. Yeah, that's because esports makes money by being advertising. Is basically true for all of these games. That's the reason esports exists. Esports exists to promote things. So like traditional sports sell advertising space to be profitable, but like baseball and football don't exist to encourage you to play baseball and football, right? Whereas like Runeterra esports and League of Legends esports to a degree exist to encourage you to play Runeterra and like they're advertising to get you to play the actual game, whereas traditional sports don't advertise that same way. You're right that they profit off of advertising dollars, but it's a different dynamic. I feel like I'm just supposed to take a DL3 here and see if it's good enough. I suppose there's also merit to like gemming this and then Shade Stalkering, so I have an elusive blocker to pair with Pale Cascade next turn could be fine. Rude. Lovable BFG, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. I know this isn't my dad works in video games type thing, but my dad really did work for Riot for several years. When Hearthstone was announced, he told me Riot had a similar game in production and it was shelved because Blizzard got there first. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, being first to market's a big thing. Thanks, Thick. Yeah, this game's great. What are we doing? I think it's just Ezreal here.
I thought you'd never ask.
They notably have Riposte mana available here. I think I unfortunately need to just beat through Riposte at this point. Oh, I guess even if they have Riposte, I beat that with Mystic Shot, right?
You're between me and glory.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Friday's gonna be, just because I have no idea what they're announcing, right? It could be anything from new card sets to huge range of stuff, to esports stuff.
Firing.
I think it's right to kill Zoe there. I think I want to play some before we attack. We know for certain it includes Runeterra stuff, Silence. The Runeterra Twitter page said to expect news from there. So we don't know what it is. We don't know that it's all Riot stuff, but we know it definitely includes Runeterra stuff. Let's gem this so we can attack with everything. Make them have a pump spell if they want to block anything, and eat it. We're going wide, chat. That's pretty good. I don't believe the Teamfight Tactics socials have posted anything about the event. So I don't think you should expect Teamfight Tactics stuff. Active Gamer, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream today. I'm gonna chain vest that and block over here instead. Sure. And this is why these are so hard to race, right? You'll get a patch notes preview on Tuesday like you always do before the patch day. There's not a patch this week. I asked in the League Partner Discord server I'm in, and there's not a patch this week.
Mystical levitation requires concentration.
Gem the goat, play the Shadestalker. Oh, they didn't. I should ask about that, Silence. Thanks for the reminder.
We speak with blades.
Wolf Biter, thanks for the follow. Got single combat here. Maybe gonna eat my gem or my elusive idiot. Could be eating my elusive because it blocks and makes it harder for them to race. Yeah.
This will be quick. Protect House Laurent.
When did I turn on follower notifications? When I started losing 1,000+ followers a month, could I stop playing Magic to encourage people that are watching you to start following? Foil Stormcrow. Speaking of Magic, welcome to Runeterra. Game's great. Read. Well, the good news is we're not dead next turn. Must be anxiety inducing. In a way, it's kind of been freeing Morrow, because like the options are either like have anxiety over it or just like not worry about it, and I choose to just divorce myself from my metrics entirely and just not worry about it. Just playing games that I enjoy for fun. I got some blockers here. Again, just like having an impossible time racing these idiots. Yeah, I'm not. As long as we stay above 1,500 concurrent subs, I'm not worried about metrics. They are what they are. So I don't want to attack this into here. I want to gem this up to gain some life back. It also gets enough attack on here to attack in. I think I want to open attacks. Are you possessed, child? Are you looking for a specific game? I think Smash Brothers is in the container upstairs. Didn't Mom? I don't think there's games in here. I'm pretty sure we took all the games out of there, dude. I agree. My Magic content wasn't very good for the last few months I was making it because I really didn't like playing the game.
Witness perfection. Meatbags.
Meatbags. Alright, we're not dead on board. We are dead to a hush, though.
Join me if you want to live. System upgrade.
Sparklefly is a good draw. Oh wait, we're not dead. They need a pump spell too. Moments before the accident. Is using cap spannable? I mean, constantly, sure. Yeah, and we're this close. Tank. Play best possible card. Ugh. For those that are new to the channel, I've decided I'm not playing against Lee Sin for the remainder of forever. until it gets a rework. I think that especially not without Hush or Frostbite in my deck. Without Hush or Frostbite, you mostly just die to the Lee Sin deck, so I'm not gonna bother. Honestly, the Sand's just kind of great, right? How present is Lee Sin these days? This is the second most popular archetype. Is 10% of the ladder. I think, in my opinion, Lee Sin is a more offensive design than Go Hard, even if it is less powerful from a pure power level position. Although, honestly, I think with the addition of Zoe to the format, I'm not even sure if that's strictly true. This card is exactly how we waited till 2 to play Zoe. This way we could protect her if they have their Go Hard. If we hadn't drawn this, we would have deployed Ballistic Bot instead. I don't expect Lee Sin to get a rework anytime soon, do you? I don't know. I think he's pretty unfun to play against, and he's pretty non-interactive, which are usually metrics that they balance around. I think it could be, especially with his play rate going up significantly. Lee loses hard to aggro. That's actually not true with the addition of Sparklefly to the format. Sparklefly shored up the one big weakness that archetype has. Yeah, I think Dragon's Kick removing him from combat would be fine. Joey Lee Sin decks cheat by running Champion 6 through 9 and Sparklefly. It's true, you know.
What's this?
Kuda, thanks for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna sump the super cool star chart here. Gives me a decent blocker. Let's me generate another one with this. I didn't play anything last turn because I was getting to bank spell mana, and I want to hold up Mystic Shot to kill this, should they have a Go Hard to try and kill her.
Deal me in.
Thanks, Active. I don't understand why Sparklefly is so good. Can anyone explain? Sparklefly is good because it's difficult to impossible to race. It's elusive, so your opponent can't block it, generally speaking, and it has lifesteal. And when you combine that with the fact that Targon is a region that's very good at both buffing units and keeping them alive, it becomes very strong very quickly. It doesn't have to do with just elusive or just lifesteal. It's definitely a sum of the parts type situation where you're right on the surface. It's not as great as it otherwise could be, but the fact that it's in the Targon region, the other cards that are played with it are very, very good. I want to build my first Zoe deck. I know you like the Lux Zoe deck, but I don't like Plaza. Do I have another recommendation for a mid-range control Zoe deck? I don't offhand, Klaus. It's a pretty specific recommendation. Oh yeah, you could play the atrocity invoke deck. That one's fine. I don't like it as much as Lux. Yeah, Karma Zoe. Okay, yeah, Karma Zoe or the invoke the Diana Zoe deck. Both of those are fine.
The world's a big place. Let's see all of it.
Let's see all of it. I have not played Karma Zoe. It is in the stream queue. We're probably gonna get to it sometime this week. Do I want to attack with this just to get a gem with it? I think I want to offer trades aggressively here. Does karma copying spells trigger augment? No, copying is different from playing. Chat, am I still here? Do you see me? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're just here vibing. Hey. Did Runeterra crash? I don't know about crash, but it looked like it hard locked. It could have also just been a connection hiccup. It's back. Back again. Runeterra's back. Tell a friend. Yeah, like it froze with the units in combat. It looked like it was a connection issue.
Yippee! I talk to spirits. These are my rules. Witness perfection. Meatbags.
Meatbags.
Nothing like the state.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna gem Zoe so she doesn't die to deal 1. She's got 2 extra toughness from Sunblessed Vigor.
Prime and ready.
Can't Mac run iOS applications now? Or did I misread that? I thought OS X could run iOS applications now. It's a super cool star chart to give this an extra power. Only the new Apple Silicon Max. Okay.
You're between me and glory.
Still pretty far from leveling. I think I'm gonna kill this and just keep my life total high. Yes, sir. Thanks for the follow. Welcome, welcome. What is Zoe at? That's a good question. Oh, she's 9 out of 10. Good call. I forgot about her. Forgot about her leveling. How does my opponent always have a glimpse? I'm incredibly unlucky. Have I played a Shadestalker yet with her out? I think I have, right? Oh, I don't have the backlog because I relogged. Crap, have we played a Shadestalker yet this game?
I know
I really need a list of what cards we've played with her.
Speed things up a little.
I'm gonna pass for now.
Packed 'em good.
I'm pretty sure this definitely levels her. So, like, if they go to deal 1 here. The learning curve for this game high? It's not. I will say that Runeterra rewards good play more than Magic does, because there's more nuance in the little details of the gameplay. If you're interested in getting into Runeterra, I have a how-to Runeterra video here. It teaches you how to learn to play in what I think is an optimal manner, as well as teaches you how to find meta decks to build. And how to start building your collection. They technically have Ruination mana up here. Maybe I'm just supposed to open attacks. No, Ruination, yeah. What's the pack count? I don't think they've played any. One at most. They're definitely not ready to pack our bags here. I actually have backup Zoe, so I think we just start playing stuff out here, huh? Race you to the next nebula. Yeah, we're gonna play Sparkles here too to give everything lifelink from her emblem. Oh man, I messed up, chat. I forgot to murder Twisted Fate. I forgot to murder Twisted Fate. Yikes. Can leveled Zoe beat leveled Twisted Fate? Maybe? Maybe?
Now this game's heating up. Eyes open.
Yeah, Vantage, if you haven't seen Runeterra before, Runeterra I would describe as the most video game of all of the digital card games. It definitely looks and feels like a real video game. Well, poop. I was hoping to invoke a big one here. We did not. I guess Cosmic Rays is pretty good.
I forgot how slow time moves.
The mountain knows me. I am the traveler.
I mean, do I really need Challenger? I'm gonna kill them if I get a good attack next turn, right?
Keep up, keep up.
I'm a people person.
I definitely should have killed this last turn. I think if I lose this game, it's because I didn't kill this, and that was a mistake for sure.
Is obsolete.
Oh, it gives everything augment. I forgot that that was gonna happen. That's adorable.
Look to the sky.
Invisible to the ignorant. Suppose you want in on this.
Suppose I should leave you be.
Murder their elusive blocker here.
Suppose you want in on this.
Suppose I should leave you be. Lady Luck is smiling.
Prime and ready.
Look to the sky. Forward.
Survey says... if they can play 2 more cards here, they still die, right? I guess it depends on what they are. All right, leveled Zoe beat level 2. Whale would have destroyed us there. Leveled Zoe confirmed beats leveled Twisted Fate. Should have killed the Twisted Fate. Should not have given them the opportunity to level it there. That was a mistake on my part. I was just so excited. that we were getting to Sparklefly with Zoe out. Kench. Oh, this one goes. We have a lot of little dudes, but we also go kind of wide on occasion. Mentor's pretty bad against Kench. Mulligan most of these looking for a Zoe to start. Okay.
Oh, you're all so cute.
What could they play here to make attacking with, to make not playing goat bad? I don't think they have anything. You just play the goat.
I'm not afraid. Just a wee bit of
I'm fine with this trade. Yeah, I changed the price of deck submissions from $25 to $10, so we adjusted it. Hopefully they play Soraka, and then we murder this with a Mystic Shot. That'll work too. I think I just want to put as much power as possible into play here ASAP. So I'm going to go ahead and sump the super cool star chart. That's a great pickup here too. Hey, thanks Zombie, I appreciate that.
Room for supper. How delectable.
It's an ambitious block into my Pale Cascade Mystic Shot deck. Especially like the fact that I left the goat home like signifies I have a deal too. They must not have any healing in their hand if they think they have to defend their life total that much. Would be what that block reads to me. Second Kench is a reasonable thing as well. We just continue going wide here.
The river always provides.
Is putting damage on him worthwhile? I don't think so. I think I just want to be as wide as possible to push a bunch of damage next turn.
Oh, I don't require a menu.
Hiya! Well, so blocking is valuable to put damage on him so I could potentially kill him down the line. Is the thought process there? So my Nexus life isn't relevant towards the block, but blocking this to get more damage marked on it could be valuable overall. And then I know Kench can just eat this post-combat, but I do think it's actually valuable here to Sunbless Vigor this, so that way they're forced to eat this, so they're not eating something else. And I think I want to murder this here. I'm playing a lot of the Zoe Fizz deck, and I've been losing a lot of the races I get into. How would you recommend hedging my bets against fearsome aggro decks? The 3 mana, 4/2 lifesteal. That's an Ionia card, Heinstein.
Plenty
So I think we're hoping this star chart makes us a threat.
Something for my taste.
It's not terrible. The Sunblessed Figure's not doing a lot. I guess Sunblessed Figure might save something from the octopus here.
Allow me a small sample.
Start with this and see what we get. Oh, these kind of suck. I guess we just take this with the goal of going wide here. So we can go Mentor Serpent this turn. Ezreal's a little on the expensive side. This gets blown out by Guiding Touch.
Call me king. Call me demon.
Often Ezreal level up in this deck, not very often. I've been kind of Ezreal's felt underwhelming in this set. Yeah, we beat Pale Cascade in that spot, but that was it, unfortunately. I think you should just play a different deck, Heinstein. All the changes it sounds like you're making make the deck much worse.
Ooh, you wee scruff.
The opponent's probably stabilized at this point.
Let me in. Oh, I don't require a menu.
Looking into the future, I see.
Yeah, the turn they attacked with the Kench, I think, was wrong, and then I punted back by not blocking the Kench, I think. Putting damage on the Kench would have been valuable.
Trickster never loses because Zoe makes the roses.
See what they have here. We might be wide enough that we can end this still.
I am superior life form.
I am superior life form.
Safety disengaged.
Alright. Might be okay here. We are very wide.
Friend.
Are they playing Star Shaping? Wow, got him. Okay. Alright. Slipped right on by.
That was super fun, and I gotta say,
They Guiding Touched. Their thing was a 2/2. I get excited it, and they Guiding Touched it to a 4/4. Or to a 2/4, a 3/4. Battle Fury Sparklefly. That does sound kind of cheeky. Hey, Remnant, thanks for the brand new Prime sub. There's a lot of people you can send that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way this month. Appreciate the Bezo bucks. Thank keep the rummage the jury rig? I might be wrong. Well, I mean, value. Yeah, look at this. Look at this good, clean turn 2 live-in, chat. Rummage, discard 2 jury rigs, trigger my Nightfall. Just like we drew it up. Obviously correct to keep.
Forgive me.
Witness perfection.
Meat bugs.
Inferior design.
We have not put Battle Fury on Ribbon to date. I guess I don't want this to die to a Mystic Shot. I want it to generate a card for me to rummage next turn.
System upgrade.
Thought you'd never ask.
Although I guess if Ezreal survives to hit them, we're probably, hey, look, there's the Mystic Shot.
Get up.
Yeah, I guess we're murdering a spider here. Ezreal's pretty likely to die next turn to something else anyways, so I think rather than Pale Cascading to save him, I'd rather just get value on my fleeting Mystic Shot here.
No way.
Can you improve perfection?
How are we approaching this game? I feel like I want to rummage, but I'm not sure if I want to ditch like a Mystic Shot or a Sunblessed Vigor in addition to the Ignition here. Yes, Jacob.
Final sword.
We got the Final Sword.
Final sword. Final. And look up final sword. Yeah, look. I can't get that AI.
I think you got to break some of the other things in here. I can help you figure out how to get past it later, okay? If you can't get past it. Okay. I love you.
System upgrade.
So we can mentor Ezreal and Pale Cascade this turn, which sounds real good.
Speak, stars. Speak, I say.
Oh no! Now I just have a bunch of gems instead of other things that pump my thing. Let's read.
For truth.
And I think we're just ignitioning here. We've definitely reached the burn them out portion of the game. It's a pretty good 4-drop for us. So we'll get another ignition from this next turn. We can block in combat. We can actually block the 2/2 as well and heal it back up. Yeah, and then there's some more reach. Let's play this out as a chump blocker since they chose to develop.
So ordinary.
Hide no longer.
We do this and go to 7. And then we'll double gem this post-combat before they get priority back, so that way they can never play any of their flocks or guillotines or stuff on it. And then we do this, and then we have 6, 7 points of damage in hand. Plus 6 on board, so they're dead. Yeah, we have Hearthstone lethal, chat. This is not a drill. We have Hearthstone lethal. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Pew 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 pew. Nailed it. Seven extra damage. Still had all these. What is Hearthstone lethal? Hearthstone is a game where players don't have any responses to what their opponent is doing. So Hearthstone lethal means our opponent is dead if they have no interaction. Medica, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. A disconnect maybe? Usually when it takes this long to connect, the opponent has disconnected and then auto drops them. Maybe it's just taking a good sweet time. It's sweet time this afternoon. By the way, in case there's anybody in chat that's paying attention, because I've been live for the last almost 5 hours now, do we have exit polls or anything coming out of Georgia yet, knowing how the runoff is going? Not that following that is likely good for my blood pressure, but nothing yet. Okay. Yeah. Usually when it takes a while to get in, it means the opponent disconnected and it's giving them a chance to get back in. Been checking on and off. Thanks. Fingers crossed. Definitely, you're not wrong. No, doom refreshing. 538 has +2 for the dem, so it's statistical. Yeah. It's a coin flip. Either we continue to have fascism or we don't. Get excited actually sounds pretty good. I'm kind of into most of this hand. Maybe this isn't good enough. This is good. This is good if they have Valor and don't have their Plaza. I'm gonna keep all of these. I can see an argument for mulliganing any of these non-Zoe cards though. Maybe the Get Excited is guaranteed good to keep. I have 2 Aftershocks to mulligan for. I wonder if the servers are having issues. We had that soft block a little bit ago, and I feel like there's been more disconnects to start. Although that could have been my opponent played Zoe on 1. I'm done with this shit. Concede. I think that could have been a Zoe surrender. Usually, if it's a disconnect, you don't get to play a card or mulligan. Type, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I really appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Definitely mulliganing the Rummage, even with the Jury Rig. I've got some Treasure to pair with that. Ezreal feels kind of slow in this matchup. I'm gonna mulligan him as well, looking for a 2-drop here, 1 or 2 drop. Okay, yeah. Sweet.
Flesh was weak, but look at me now.
Look at me now.
Prime and ready.
If they play Fiora, am I attacking?
River
Shaper. Definitely attacking into River Shaper because we trade into Sharpsight here. Thanks, Type. If you want to talk about the game and politics and all sorts of other stuff with like-minded folks and you use Discord, you should pop into the Subs Discord server as well. We have a pretty active community there for a variety of things, including all the above. I think I play Ezreal here, and so I can use this as a Mystic Shot to shoot this.
Honor guide me.
And I think I put this here and then line this up. Because again, even they'll get to draw a card with this, but I feel like anytime River Shaper only draws one card, it's a successful River Shaper for you. Just like, obviously we get denied a Nopified here, which feels bad, but it is what it is. Hey, Zio, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back.
What form will the waters take?
I agree, Meister. The bulk of the primary Twitch audience tend to be people who are largely apolitical, which is why I made it a point this past year to talk about things, to make people realize they should care. And I've had a number of people reach out and let me know that, like, they wouldn't have thought about things or done things or been engaged in the election in 2020 if it hadn't been me talking about it, so it'll taper off a little bit as we don't have as we come out of election time, but I think it's important to talk about. Elections are generally always important, but the 2020 especially was more important in the United States than most have been for a variety of reasons. I think I'm supposed to attack before deploying these because I think leaving Get Excited available is valuable. They're a Sharp Sight deck. I guess I don't want to trade this into here either, or this into here either, because I want to save this to block River Shaper.
From the river folk. What form will the waters take?
I'm excited, but I just want a president that if I go a week or two without thinking about it, it's not a big deal. I just want to know that there's an adult driving the car. Can I please just have an adult driving the car?
Fate of mortals and spirits falls to me.
So I think at this point we do this and hope they don't have another Nopify. If they have another Nopify, it's real bad for us. Okay, everything worked out better than expected. Easy pass. Ooh, that's a great draw.
Don't blink or you'll miss me.
Been a long path to get.
Okay, so Sharp Sight kind of sucks for me, but I think I need to apply pressure. I think I'm also attacking with my 4-power things here, right? Because if they don't have Sharp Sight, this bumping into either of these means Mystic Shot can kill them.
I'll stop you.
There is no dispute.
Yeah, I think calling Biden an evil person is a bit too close to both sides-isms for my taste. I think you can accurately surmise that Biden has a little bit too much corporate influence in him for my personal progressive taste. But calling him evil is an unreasonable stretch, in my opinion. You could be critical. You could be critical of Biden's failings without being obtuse about them. Like don't ignore them, but don't like do the thing Republicans do and embellish them. Second rummage kind of sucks. they're gonna get to murder this turn. I guess they might try and kill the Shadestalker. Let's see what they do.
Follow my lead.
If I cascade this, I can aftershock this, but then I have to ask myself the important question, how am I winning this game? And I think the how am I winning this game question is based around drawing an elusive and punking them out here. So I think we're blocking this to keep my life total a little bit high here, and then hoping to use these to push face damage from here on out. Hey, Grexy, thank you for the sub-gifties. That's very generous of you. Good afternoon.
Can you improve perfection?
Okay. Started a new job this week, so spreading the cheer. Hey, congrats.
Water changes but never breaks.
Sure, but like, so if Biden hadn't admitted the crime bill was a mistake, I would like, again, like, people have failings, but you need to allow them to learn and grow. It's like a lot of people were dragging Harris constantly for things that happened years ago that were far less recent than her Senate record, and her Senate record is incredibly progressive. So like, I get it that she's not Bernie Sanders, but like, man, did the Bernie bros do a real disservice to the country and their party with how they talked about Kamala. She's a very, very reasonable candidate individual, it seems like, based on her Senate record. Yes, buddy. Okay, you'll have to pause it for now, buddy, because I don't remember how to beat this part. So I'll have to look it up, and we can do it later, okay? Maybe watch the show for a little bit before your next class.
Prime and ready.
What dots?
My shield is
How
yours.
long the next red dots, Daddy? Tell me.
How long till your next class starts? That's a good question. Let's look at your calendar. Do you have more classes today, Jacob? Jacob has a class. Nope, you're all done actually for the day. Yeah. Pretty sweet.
Improve perfection. Rise, metal brethren.
Ah, yes. I forgot that people who have careers and are adults never experience personal growth. Never experience personal growth or change their opinions based on new facts or evidence.
From the river folk.
Forgot that that's not allowed.
System upgrade.
Apologies. I mean, they're prematurely GGing, but I think we are dead. In a sincere effort to amend it. Okay, here's a real question, Barrow. What does that mean? Don't be vague. What in your opinion is a sincere effort to amend it? What specific thing would you like to see done that in your opinion qualifies that? Let's wrap on this one really quick. I feel like overall, I feel like I kind of failed in this build around submission. This deck as a whole felt kind of reasonable in that it was just a Zoe elusive aggro deck with Sparklefly and with Mentor of Stones, but I kind of feel like the core of what this deck was doing didn't really like Ezreal's part of it. Like, he was fine as an elusive threat that occasionally Mystic shotted something, but I feel like if I had a second draft at this, I would want to try and build something more mid-range controlling and leverage the card advantage aspect of Zoe and Ezreal more, as opposed to being more linear. From the perspective of being an elusive aggro deck, it felt worse than other elusive aggro decks, so I'd like to see it built in a different way. So I think if I were to approach Ezreal Zoe again, I would not build it as this aggressively slanted aggro deck. I would instead build it bigger as a mid-range or control deck. Well, like, and even there, Andrew, just to close on, like, you would want them to literally amend or annul it, but that's not possible. So, like, you're holding an unrealistic standard. So you're saying you would believe Biden more if he was more authentic about it, but then by your own admission, you're expecting something in terms of authenticity that's not possible. And I think stuff like that is super toxic in general. Like, you can't be like, well, they're not doing enough. Like, and that's what I get most of the time. Like, when I get down and like ask for actual details, they're like, well, this X politic isn't doing enough. And it's like, well, what do you expect them to do? And they give me an answer that's like just not within the realm of like what the power their political position is. Sure, you didn't address that though. You said if they take the Senate, you want it annulled. Well, but Biden's not the Senate, right? Like there's a bunch of people in there. It's not as simple as the president can. If it was as simple as the president controls the Senate, if they're the same power and they snap their fingers, Trump would have gotten everybody $2,000 checks, right? Because Trump wanted it and the GOP had the Senate. Like that's not how politics works. I think your expectation is unrealistic. Like you're looking for something to be upset about. Yeah, like, so during the, and like, just to speak purely from personal experience, I was really down on Kamala as a pick, and I really wasn't, I honestly didn't do enough research into her during the primary season, during the Democratic primary, and I basically just took what other people in my progressive circle said for granted, and like, when I actually looked into the details and you look at her Senate record, a lot of the criticisms against her were stuff that boiled down to, well, these were things that other people did underneath her. These were things that happened a long time ago, and her actions since then indicate that she's voting differently than when those other actions were taken. And like, that's not to say everything she did was perfect, but it's to say where she was as a human being now versus then is different, and her actions now are more important to me than her actions then, because people experience personal growth and change. And like, I as an individual want to be allowed to grow and change. Like, if everybody judged me today at almost 30 based on the actions that when I was 21 or 22, like a decade ago, like, I'm just a fucking asshole forever, right? Like, me at 21 or 22, like, nobody wants to be that person. And honestly, someone said, well, they're an adult with a career. I would be surprised if a decade from now when I'm 40 or 2 decades from now when I'm 50, I'm sure I'm going to look back at Jeff at 30 right now and think, man, he still did things that weren't great, and I've changed and am better at 40 than at 50, or than I was at 30, right? And when I'm roaming the wastelands trying to avoid being eaten by cannibals, I will be a fundamentally different person than I am today. The OG, man, thanks for the follow. At any rate, I'm gonna end a little bit early today. I ran super late yesterday, and I don't quite have enough time to fit another deck in before I wanna be done. The Bernie Bro effort is a Republican. I don't think that's true. While Bernie Bro groups a lot of people together, there is definitely a very toxic mindset among progressives that about how they attack people in the establishment just because they're that, instead of acknowledging that there's some differences they can work with them there. So like there's a difference between pressuring moderates to try and get progressive policies passed and attacking them with nonsense based on things that have happened previously. And I think there's too many progressives that err into that second camp when they need to be doing in that. Do you know what I mean? I just gave the example, right? Like talking about the opinions that I was given on Kamala Harris based on her record as an AG while completely ignoring her more recent Senate history. That was incredibly progressive. Yeah, that's a really good example. Like you ignore the more recent reality because it doesn't fit the narrative that you're constructing and instead focus on just the past. Yeah, I'm not saying all or even a majority of Bernie supporters are toxic. I'm not saying that all progressives are toxic. I consider myself a progressive, but like that type of focus is something that definitely happened a lot during the primary. As someone who was very engaged and plugged in during the primary. And for the record, the primary was before I was streaming Runeterra. There was literally a Bernie Sanders banner in the corner of my stream up there where the League of Legends partner thing just was, the BCW ad is now. Like there was literally a Bernie Sanders banner there. I was all in on the Bernie camp. He was one of my first political donations. I sent him money, like I voted for him, but like that reality was definitely still there. All right, I'm off. I'll be back tomorrow morning. For people that are new, be sure to check out my YouTube channels. I have daily highlights that I post there, as well as another channel where I post absolutely everything that I stream. We'll be playing more Runeterra tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, we're going to dip back into Witcher 3, methinks. I've been missing that one. I'm looking forward to playing some more of it. Peace, folks.